call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners to order. If you will please stand and let's join Todd Luce from the Grandview Christian Church for an invocation, followed by the pledge.
Good morning, everyone. Would you bow with me, please? Gracious Lord, we come to you this morning, and we first want to thank you for a beautiful morning. We thank you for the opportunity to live in a nation that is free. Lord, but with that freedom comes responsibility, and I ask your blessing upon this council member that has these council members that have responsibility to our country and to our county, and give them wisdom and understanding and insight and compassion, Lord. We pray that they would make wise decisions for all of us. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Todd.
See you in a couple months.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
Commissioner Grantham. Here. County Attorney Bellis.
Present.
County Administrator Croce.
Present.
Right, thank you. Move on to removal of the agenda.
Removal of the
Yeah,
agenda.
let's remove it. Approval of the
I second
agenda.
that.
This would be the shortest meeting ever.
Tell you what, told you I'd done this in a while. Get figured out.
All right. Should we just start over?
Yeah.
Go get
Can
Todd back. And,
Yes.
Get rolling again.
Start over.
Mr. Chair, I move, without any other changes, I move for the approval of the agenda.
Yeah, I don't know of any either. I second that. So it asks, we have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
This is going to be a
This is one of those days.
exciting meeting, if nothing else, right? All right, on to the consent agenda. I will notice we've got our normal stuff, the bills to be paid. We've got a couple of signatures to be ratified. And we are not scheduling any public hearings.
Yes,
Oh,
you
yes,
are.
we are.
We are.
We are scheduling a public hearing. Scheduling a public hearing for Tuesday, May 12th. And that is for a special review use 26-001 Legacy Metals and Fabrication Facility. So that is scheduled, will be scheduled for May 12th.
And Mr. Chair, I move for approval of the consent agenda, including all those things, and the scheduling of the public hearing on May 12th at 9:30 for Legacy
idea.
Metals.
All right, I second that. And a roll call, please.
Commissioner McFall.
All right.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, phew, go through the tough part. Now let's see. Administrative and informational, we're going to start, staff and elected officials, we'll start with the sales and use tax. So there he is, from our finance director, Sean Sutton. Good morning,
Got
sir.
a couple tough acts to follow now, Sean.
Yeah.
Starting this meeting off. like
Struggling,
we
yeah.
did. Struggling.
I'll start off with happy pre-tax day.
Hey,
Yeah. Remind all those people out there, tomorrow's a big day, so get those taxes filed. So we've got the retail sales tax for February 2026, auto use sales tax through March 2026, and then the lodging report for February 2026 as well. So to begin, general fund retail sales tax collection for February 2026 totaled $754,315. This is $179,467 more than 2025.
So.
Wow.
You were looking into that, because that's a
Yeah.
huge number, especially compared
Yeah.
back to 23 when it was the biggest.
Yeah.
What did you find out?
So it sounds like there was a timing difference with the state, much like we had with the county lodging last year in March. So there's just some timing, and it sounds like, or looks like, that March will be lower than the collection from 2025, but I guess we'll see what comes. But it does sound like a timing thing with the state at this point.
We kept expecting those even out numbers month to month last year on the lodging tax, and it
Yeah.
never really came about.
Not really, yeah. I mean, it kind of caught up maybe that last quarter a little bit, but for about 6 months, it was kind of, it was different, you know, not the typical quarterly collection for sure, so.
So then we'll see what the numbers are next month to know whether this is It should kind of plane out then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, my guess is that, yeah, we'll see some lower numbers next month, but I guess that depends on the people, how much money they spent, so. And with, obviously, with some inflationary factors and different things, I guess, well, yeah, we'll just see at this point, but that was what the state did explain, is there was just a timing issue this month, so. 2026 total, year-to-date is $1,394,341. This is $168,840 more than 2025. And then versus budget, which is typical for this time of year, we are $22,326 behind budget. But again, during those warmer months and when we have more tourism coming through Canyon City, those numbers typically do go up kind of May through September. So continue to monitor this report, but yeah, kind of caught me off guard a little bit when we saw that number this month. So the auto use sales tax collection, much more typical. For March 2026, totaled $118,580. This is $4,575 more than 2025. Year-to-date, we sit at $324,498, which is $2,061 less than 2025, but right on budget, or a little over budget by $7,311. Lodging fund, which we just previously talked about, for February 2026, totaled $4,679. This is $4,371 less than 2025. Year-to-date collections, we set at $19,229, which is $8,759 more than 2025, and slightly behind budget, which again is an expectation with quarterly collections. And typically not catching up, again, same reasons, warmer months, more tourism, till around September of the year. So
September report's always the great equalizer for getting us caught
For the
back up
lodging.
to our
yeah.
budget.
So next is the retail sales tax. This is the same thing, timing issue, so same here. February 2026 totaled $502,876, which is $119,644 more than 2025. Year-to-date, we sit at $929,560. This is $112,560 more than 2025, and behind budget by about $70,440. Sheriff auto use sales tax collection portion for March totaled $79,054. This is $3,050 more than 2025. Year-to-date, set at $216,333, which is $1,373 less than 2025, but ahead of budget by $3,833. So overall, numbers look pretty good, but more to come in March as we continue to monitor this. Any questions?
Thank you, Sean.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right, next we have our county administrator's report. Mr. Tony Croce, good morning.
All right, good morning. Morning, everyone.
Morning.
So we'll start with job opportunities that we have posted in the county. We'll start with our noxious weed department. We have a temporary part-time weed management specialist that closes April the 23rd, 2026. Our Fremont County Department of Human Services, we have 3 postings. We have an assistant county attorney posting that closes April the 30th. We have a social ongoing caseworker that closes April the 16th, and an economic security technician that closes today, April the 14th, or yeah, today's 14th, right? April the 14th today. Fremont County Department of Transportation, we have 2 openings, an operator 1, 2, and 3 that closes April the 23rd, and a labor position that closes April the 21st. And in our Fremont County Sheriff's Office, we have a detention deputy posting that closes April 23rd, 2026. We have a patrol deputy posting that closes May 7th. And then we have a patrol deputy part-time posting position that closes April the 20th, 2026. So for more information about employment opportunities with Fremont County, please visit our county website at fremontcountyco.gov, or you can call our HR department at 719-276-7409. Department of Human Services, the building will be closed on April the 23rd, 2026 to allow staff to participate in their quarterly professional development day. They will reopen on April the 24th, 2026 at 7 a.m. for normal business. Request for proposals, HVAC. We're looking for an HVAC rooftop unit replacement. Fremont County is seeking proposals from qualified mechanical contractors for a turnkey design-build project to replace 5 large commercial rooftop units at the Fremont Combined Court Judicial Building located at 136 Justice Center Road in Canyon City. This project is supported by a grant from the Underfunded Courthouse Facility Cash Fund Commission and administered by the Colorado State Court Administrator's Office. The project includes all engineering, permitting, equipment procurement, and installation. A mandatory site visit and pre-bid meeting is scheduled for this morning at 9 a.m. at the project site. A 5% bid bond or certified check is required with all proposals. The successful bidder will be required to provide 100% performance and payment bonds. This project is subject to Colorado labor preference, Colorado Revised Statute 8-17-101, and if the contract exceeds $500,000, Colorado prevailing wage requirements. Sealed proposals must be submitted electronically through BidNet Direct no later than 2 p.m. on May 14th, 2026. You can find detailed solicitation documents at www.bidnetdirect.com/Colorado/Fremont County. Our Veteran Services Office that's located here at our County Administration Building is closed all this week, April the 13th through Thursday, April the 16th, as our 2 Veteran Service Officers are completing mandatory in-service professional development training this week with other Veteran Service Officers from around the state. They will be back in the office next Monday, April the 20th. Crews are in our County Department of Transportation crews are installing culverts on Glenmore Road and Dozier Avenue today to address ongoing water flow issues. Crews are out there now and should be finished up today, and they should finish paving that tomorrow. Fremont County Public Health, our Public Health Department is hosting an electronics recycling event on Saturday, April the 25th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This event will take place in the Department of Human Services parking lot located at 172 Justice Center Road in Canyon City. They will accept electronics, latex paint, and appliances, except those with Freon or refrigerant. Cost is $30 per item, and let me put this up here. I meant to put this up before I started talking. There's a poster for the recycling event. The cost is $30 per item for televisions and CRT computer monitors. All other items are free. Please visit our Fremont County website for more information at www.fremontcountyco.gov, and the flyer will be posted on the front page. And finally, Amorize Tire Day. On Saturday, May 2nd, 2026, Amorize, which most of us know as Portland or Wholesome, will be accepting used passenger car tires for disposal at the Portland Park. Fremont County residents can bring a maximum of 20 passenger car tires per vehicle to the park from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for disposal. And that's all I have, sir.
All right, thanks, sir. Any questions for Tony?
Just to add on to the electronics recycling event, if you were a participant in that last year, be sure to get there early. The line was long, very, very long. It did move pretty well, but please get there as soon as you can. I would recommend, given my experience, if you have one thing that you need to get rid of, see if you can find somebody else that's going so they can take your stuff with them. Or vice versa, help somebody else out with one item that just to lessen the traffic out there. If it's anything like last year, and I hope it is, if it's anything like last year, it's going to be a very long line, and prepare to sit in line for a little while. Well,
So they contact you to put their stuff with yours?
I'm giving them your number, but yes, they can contact me. Actually, Commissioner Bell, I think, volunteered to do that.
That's the way to do that. No, here, you know. All right. Good deal, thanks. Okay, then we'll move on to commissioners' thoughts.
So I was going to bring up the electronic recycling, and so Administrator Carochi did that. I would also remind folks about the legislature. They are still in session, so hold on to your wallets. They will continue on, I think, for another 50 days. They're in the middle of the long bill, which is the terminology used for the main budget bill. The whole budget week last week was in the House. All the budget bills moved Saturday over to the Senate. I believe they were probably right across the desk today or yesterday, which means that they were introduced in the Senate. And so beginning the second week of the budget process in the state legislature, but there are still a lot of bills of major concern in the legislature when it comes to our Second Amendment rights, when it comes to local control, when it comes to unfunded mandates. We as commissioners sit on the steering committees of Colorado Counties Incorporated and participate in making decisions as far as support from the larger county perspective. And there are many things that concern counties of every stripe, whether they're Republican or Democrat. There are many items of concern. And so we will continue to monitor those things through the end of the session and take positions of opposition, support, or even amending some of those bills, trying to make them sometimes less bad because they're going to pass anyway, or sometimes just outright opposition or support, depending on the situation. So we will continue to work for the folks of Fremont County in that fashion. And that is about it, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Clerk Grantham, do you have something? Okay, just real quick, as you know, it's dry out there.
I've heard.
It's kind of crazy that every meeting I've been on for the last 6 months, we're talking about wildfire and forest health, and now in that conversation is water or lack thereof. There is no water in the western United States. It's amazing the snowpack was so low. Our Arkansas Basin never got over 47% snowpack. I think it's at like 9% right now, which means there's hardly any snow up in the mountains. It is snowing today in some places, which is kind of cool. Telluride was getting some, Wolf Creek. There was some up north somewhere. The Sangres evidently got a little bit yesterday, but it's still very, very dry up there. It's going to affect several things. One, it's going to affect our tourism industry. I think somebody mentioned earlier rafting. Sean did, I think. I don't think we'll have much rafting this year. At this point, there is no water. All the upper reservoirs are full, and they're trying to keep the storage up high, Twin Lakes and stuff, because there's less evaporation up there. But that is going to be pushed down the rivers for drinking water and then agriculture. But I don't think it's ever going to get that river up. I'd be surprised if it ever gets to 700 cubic feet. So it's pretty dire out there. The long-range forecast is what what is it? We're in El Nino. We need La Nina.
No, opposite.
Opposite. It's supposed to happen, so June and July could be wet, and I hope that's right. We're going to keep praying that happens. But that could also trigger, and I know water facilitators are talking about it, is water restrictions, when you can and cannot water your lawns and that type of stuff. Everybody's going to have to be diligent, because if there's water in that river and they can pull it out, we'll be okay. But if that river gets dry enough they can't, or the water calls are just right, it's going to be pretty detrimental. And then along with that, we have a fire warning every day with the winds and stuff. The way it is so dry and hot. But Fremont County Unincorporated is in stage 2 fire restrictions. BLM and Forest Service are in stage 1 fire restrictions. Canyon City Fire District just went to stage 1 restrictions last week. Most of the fire districts out west, they go with whatever the county's in, so I assume they're all in stage 2. I haven't confirmed that, but I wouldn't doubt they are. So when you're out there and about, there's no open fires anywhere. I saw there's stuff all over the state happening where they're starting to talk about banning charcoal for the summer because it's so dry. You got to have a gas grill where you can shut it off real quick. Those type of things, but just be careful, be diligent. The fire that started at Fort Carson, as I mentioned in a meeting a while back, it was a truck, an axle or something that went haywire and just threw sparks out, and the guy tried to put it out, but it got away from him so fast that it spread and ended up burning almost 8,000 acres up there. It's real pretty right now if you drive to the springs because that dead grass is all gone and it's real bright and green. It probably kind of helped the terrain. It probably put nutrients back in the soil. However, that fire could have got much worse and burned a lot of homes, so it didn't, thank God, but just keep everything in mind and be careful when you're out there and be safe. Anything else from up here?
Not for me.
Okay. This is a portion where we like to hear from our citizens that have something on their mind, and if there is anybody here that would like to speak that hasn't so far, there's some forms over there by the door that you can fill out if you want to speak to us, but we do have one right now. Jeff, go. Come on up, sir.
My name is Jeff Coe, and I live in the county up on north on Illinois. The reason why I'm here is since 9th Street is closed, and thank God for that because it's been horrible for years, as we all know. If I go to the stores and such, I usually go down Washington Avenue and turns into 15th Street. Well, I have motorbikes and vehicles like we all do. The people that are going north on 15th Street cut that corner, and it's in the county because I double checked already. They cut it almost to where they're hitting the curb for the right side, and I couldn't tell you how many times if I wouldn't have stopped, I would have been hit. And it's, in my pickup, they're gonna hit that bull guard. They're gonna probably lose that fight. But on the motorbike, there's 100% I'm gonna lose that fight. I've contacted 2 people and nobody has responded to me yet about what we can do to put up like a white solid line, maybe 20 or 30 yards back of Washington, south on 15th Street, right in the middle of the road, and go around the corner. It probably wouldn't stop everybody because some of our drivers in this town and county are not the best.
Okay.
And it would be great if there'd be a center line that would possibly kick something off in their brain to say, oh, I shouldn't cut across this corner. So I would appreciate it if you guys would take that under advisement and get that done, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, somebody else brought something up to me yesterday on Washington as well, that with 9th being closed, it's directing all the school traffic down Washington or the other way on Washington to North 5th Street. And a lot of kids where the buses are trying to stop and traffic is backed up all the way from this roundabout, which gets crazy at school left out, all the way up and around Washington because it's just, everybody's got to go one way or the other. And it's crazy. So hopefully they are making progress on 9th Street. Hopefully when that gets open, that'll relieve that. But thanks, Jeff. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. We have no old business, so we'll jump right into new business. Our first item in new business is a proclamation naming April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And we have Stephanie Moses from Family Crisis Center here today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Stephanie.
Do you guys read it or do I?
We would like you to, if you would.
Okay,
All
here
right.
we go. All right, so Sexual Assault Awareness is in April. Whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in Fremont County, Colorado. And whereas every day women, men, and children across Colorado suffer the pain and trauma of sexual assault upon survivors and our communities. And whereas this crime occurs far too frequently, goes unreported far too often, and leaves long-lasting physical and emotional scars. And whereas during National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we recommit ourselves to lifting the veil of secrecy and shame surrounding sexual violence, expanding support for victims, and strengthening our response. And whereas sexual violence affects individuals of all ages, backgrounds, and circumstances, And whereas, as a community, we share the responsibility for protecting each other from sexual assault, supporting victims when it does occur, and bringing perpetrators to justice. And whereas, at every level, we must work to provide necessary resources to victims of every circumstance, including medical attention, mental health services, relocation, and housing assistance, and advocacy during the criminal justice process. And whereas Fremont County of Colorado can come together to increase awareness about sexual violence, decrease its frequency, hold offenders accountable, support victims, and heal lives. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County, Colorado, that the month of April 2026 is hereby designated the Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Fremont County, Colorado, and hereby urge the community to work together to educate themselves about sexual violence prevention, to support survivors, and speak out against harmful attitudes and actions.
Thank you. All right, any comments, questions, Commissioner?
Well, I think we're fortunate in Fremont County. We talk about this with all of our proclamations that we do, to have the kind of folks and the groups in this county that do this work. And so thank you, and pass along our thanks to all of your co-workers, co-volunteers, et cetera, at Family Crisis Services. We really appreciate the work that you do in bringing awareness like this to a very serious issue. And are there any contact numbers you'd like to share, either hotline or volunteer, those kind of numbers for folks?
So can I just talk a little bit about what Family
Yes.
Crisis does?
Sure. Perfect.
So we're a nonprofit organization. We have about 4 advocates in the office at all times. We do have a 24-hour hotline, and that's 719-275-2429. We supply services like safe housing, we do legal paperwork support, and we do counseling, and there's so much more that we can help with resource-wise. Last year alone, we supported 347 new survivors. We supplied 1,477 safe nights, and that's per person per night. And then we also answered 1,211 crisis calls.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing for our population. Thank you for being here. I said this frequently, I probably said it last year too, Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It should be an awareness all year round.
Yeah.
But thank you for bringing this to us today and being here and reading it for us too.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate that, Stephanie. That those numbers, just a big exclamation point on the point we're making, the good work you guys do. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So we'd like to get a picture with you in just a second. Can you stick around so we can do the next one, and then we'll get a picture with you and then the next person as well?
Absolutely.
Got a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the proclamation naming April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
I second that. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And the next proclamation is naming April 12th through the 18th National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. And Angela Clausen, I said the hard part, the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and then I messed up your name, Angela, sorry. Combined Regional Dispatch Center Director is here today. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Would you like to read the proclamation?
I can read the proclamation. I'm a little sick, but I may not sound the best, but I
You
can
want
read
this
it.
one, or you want to read it off there?
Yeah. I have it here on my phone.
Oh, you have it? Okay.
Yep. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our police officers and firefighters is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Combined Regional Communications Authority. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services. And whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety. And whereas public safety telecommunicators of the Combined Regional Communications Authority have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients. And whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, now, therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that the week of April 12th through the 18th of 2026 be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in Fremont County in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our city and citizens safe.
Thank you, Angela. Who do you have with you?
This is Gary. He is one of our telecommunicators in training right now. He's been with us since November, and he's about halfway through training right now. So,
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, and thanks for stepping up to do this job. It's got to not be easy, not an easy job. So, thank you.
Well, I'm just going to add on to that, sort of like our last proclamation, you know, there are people there that are ready to help in this community, and our folks in the dispatch center are that first point of contact in many, probably I would guess 99% of the time, I don't know.
yeah, probably about
To
that.
people that are going through something that they probably didn't wake up thinking they were going to be going through. And so that's a very important role that you guys fill, and so we really appreciate that.
Thank you. I have a great staff. They're fantastic people.
Yeah, that makes a difference, having a great staff, but I think people, it's good that they can depend on somebody behind the phone that they don't know who they're talking to when their life is in danger. They think it is either way, but thank you guys for being here. And ready for a motion?
You bet. Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the proclamation naming April 12 to 18 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
I second that. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
All right,
Motion carries.
so we'll come down to get a picture with you guys, and then we'll get one with,
Excellent.
oh gosh, let me get up. Thanks for being here. Thank you. You betcha. You guys to hold on back. Thank you guys. Thank you both. Try the right one. Always wondering. All right. Moving on, item number 3 on today's agenda is requesting the issuance of a fermented malt beverage special events permit, Canyon City Rodeo Association, for event at 1595 South 9th Street in Canyon City on May 1st and 2nd, 2006, from 4 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. And we have Andy Phillips here this morning. Good morning. Push that button on the front of that. There we go. Thank you.
Good morning.
All right, Andy, tell us a little bit about your event again.
Well, it's our typical every year rodeo that we have, Blossom Weekend, Friday night, Saturday night. Starts at 7, rodeo time. Mutton busting at 5, runs. That's the reason for the later time request on that, because we never know in rodeo how late that's going to go, depending on what may or may not happen in the arena, because it is a bit unpredictable. We will have vendors. We will have, my handwriting and my drawing are subpar, so I know you guys are doing your best to muddle through it. I will have food vendors, some other vendors selling different trinkets, for lack of a better word. The fencing, everything will be fenced in. The whole entire area is fenced in. There is fencing between public parking and between contestant parking. There's fencing to get in. There's fencing holding everything in. We use the Fremont County Sheriff's Department. They do a fantastic job of keeping an eye on things. We haven't had, last couple of years, we haven't had any problems, knock on wood, with their presence there. Like I say, everything is pretty much fenced in, and you have to have a wristband. We use wristbands to get in, to have alcohol, to have anything. Wristbands are, ticket sales wristbands are separate from the beer wristbands. Separate colors, separate. It's very, very obvious.
He was ready for Commissioner Bell's question. Good job.
The other thing we do have is, we have folks that are, I don't know if you are familiar with tips. Tip certified folks, one in each location where the beer is being sold, and then a third to relieve or kind of oversee. So I have basically a runner, if you will.
Okay.
And that was her other question.
Yes. Yep. Well done.
So
Okay, you have any questions?
you're making this awful easy
Any
on us.
questions for Andy at this time?
Actually, no, I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. The application looks good. We'll turn this over to staff.
All right, thank you. Mr. Phillips submitted the application on March 11th with all supporting documents and the required funds. I sent the reports to the public health officials and sheriff's office on March 16th. They both came back recommending approval. The attorney reviewed the file on March 25th. He also recommended approval. Mr. Phillips provided the proof of posting well before 10 days before the meeting. So with all that being said, clerk's office recommends approval.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for her? All right, I don't either. I wish you guys luck again on your rodeo, and hopefully people will turn out for that, since they can't go rafting.
All right.
They can go rodeo.
We're hoping for a good turnout. Just a little piece of advice. I posted my poster, thought it was good to go. Went by yesterday, and a light breeze must have come by and
Light breeze.
ripped it from our clutches, so to speak. So the poster is a good sturdy poster, and we've talked about, the different, but make sure that they have that thing secured, because with these high winds, it's pretty rough out there.
Well, there was a call from Pathfinder that they found your sign stuck to the.
Oh, it only made it that far?
Yeah, right.
Gee, I thought I was going to have to cross state lines.
No, I can see how that could happen. Yeah, I did see the posting of it though, so.
I've had some of those light breezes roll
Yeah.
through my property as well, taking care of my patio furniture. What patio furniture?
All right. Any other questions?
None for me.
Ready for a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the request for the issuance of a fermented malt beverage special event permit for the Canyon City Rodeo Association for an event at 1595 South 9th Street in Canyon on the following dates, May 1 and May 2, from 4 p.m. to 11:30 p.m.
I second that. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good rodeo. I think one thing too, like you said, it's unpredictable how long it'll go. That's the best part of rodeo, is unpredictability, right?
Yeah, that's the thing people like to
It is. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, it is 9:39. We did have a public hearing scheduled for 9:30. I want to get through those three right quick. So we will now have a public hearing on the revision and updates of the Fremont County Environmental Health and Department's on-site water treatment system, the OWTS regulations. And with that, we have building official Wyatt Sanders with us this morning. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Good morning, Wyatt.
Morning, sir.
Morning. As most of you probably already heard, the state in June 15th of 2025 made amendments to the existing OWTS Regulation 43. In Colorado, the on-site wastewater treatment system, the OWTS, regulations are developed by the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, Water Quality Control Commission, in collaboration with stakeholders. These regulations are known as Regulation Number 43. On the 15th of June 2025, the department adopted revisions to this regulation, giving each local agency up to 12 months to adopt this regulation or to adopt updated local regulations consistent of these changes. So the main goal of these revisions are to address issues and concerns that have been identified over the past several years, strive towards aligning Colorado's OWTS regulations with accepted industry standards, and to ensure statewide consistency while allowing the local adaptability. Provide clarification in various sections to more clearly state the regulatory intent and reduce confusion for both practitioners and local regulators, thus assisting in the consistent application of the regulations statewide. To focus in on more defined criteria regarding the evaluation and properties that have high content of rock and soil profiles, and adding new requirements for secondary safety, devices on all new systems to prevent people and animals from falling into septic tanks. So these are like an access screen or a grate that's in the access port. And further clarifying a few general provisions within the regulation. The foremost objective of the regulation is to prevent the environment, preserve the environment, protect public health and water quality, eliminate the cause of disease, and to reduce and control pollution. The purpose of this regulation, as authorized by the OWTS Act, is to establish minimum standards for the location, design, construction, performance, installation, alteration, and use of OWTS within the state of Colorado, and establish the minimum requirements for regulations adopted by local boards of health. Local boards of health have until June 15, 2026 to adopt local regulations that are at least as stringent as Regulation 43. If local regulations are not adopted by June 15, 2026, the Water Quality Control Division is directed to propose local regulations for that jurisdiction and submit them to the Commission for approval. That's about sums it up.
That about sums it up.
It
Okay.
does.
So, thanks, Wyatt. So, with these changes, I'm sure you've been talking to contractors about this. Has anybody had any concerns? All right, I don't know if there's anybody here yet. We'll open it up in just a second. But has anybody had any concerns about this so far?
Most of the concerns is that the public is thinking that everything is going to a high-pressure sand dosing filter system, and that's not the case. So these higher, higher dosing systems are there for rock.
Right.
And certain resistance, like clay, rock, stuff like that. And what the new regulations or what they did is they put in things that will clarify on how much is 50% rock? How much is 35% rock? So they started running it and clarifying what sieve you have to put it through to define all that.
So it's still dependent on the perk and
Test.
Yeah, it
and
depends
everything
on
front
the
end.
soil conditions,
Yeah.
totally.
Okay.
So naturally, if you're up in the mountains and, you know, it costs you $40,000 to excavate for the house, it may cost you that much to put in a system.
Right,
So it's just location, location, location.
right.
Okay. All right, as I said, this is a public hearing, so we'll open it up for anyone that would like to speak on this issue. If there's anyone, now's the time. Yes, sir. If you'll tell us your name and then what you got going on.
I'm Steve Harrison. I'm working with the town of Williamsburg. I was one of the first environmental trainers for the Colorado Department of Health in Denver at the State Environmental Training Center. I've been certified for over 50 years in water and sewer. One of my concerns right now with the town of Williamsburg in particular is we have people come to us that have less than an acre or 1.1 acres like on Benson, and the guy wants to put 4 houses on it. And, you know, has real nice drawings and everything else of the septic system and stuff. One of my concerns has been all along is not to stifle growth, but on the other hand, from being in the environmental world, if you will, one of the concerns is, of course, all the standard stuff. You don't want to pollute your neighbor, you know, et cetera, the setbacks and so on. So one of my concerns has been for a long time is the requirement from the state health department, CDPHE, was that you had to have an acre. And obviously there could be some, I guess you would say, exemptions, depending on soil and so forth, as Wyatt has, you know, talked about. And I don't have an issue with that. It's just the problem is, like this one gentleman that wanted to put 4 on the 1 acre, said he'd already talked to the county. I don't believe him, you know, because a lot of people, you know, will say all kinds of things to get local approval. And I see some nodding and everybody understands. My goal has always been, let's try and allow growth, but not, you know, endanger other people, et cetera, which is an interesting process, as you guys know. So that's my concern right now, is I'd like to find out if the acre still applies, and then if we're going to go less than an acre, and we had one that was James subdivision in Williamsburg, and they're all less than an acre. And right now we have an issue because somebody put in a 2-inch water line, and I don't know who approved it, and I'm chasing that down because obviously there's no fire flow. One of the concerns I have from teaching hydraulics is you're not going to get fire flow out of a 2-inch line feeding a cute little hydrant. So we're working on that process, just to let you guys know. And, you know, we're probably, and the fire department says they're not going to do any ISO, you know, flow testing and stuff, so I'm working through that part also. But at the end of the day, you know, people should not be represented to that, you know, hey, you have fire flow, or it's okay to put 4 septics on, you know, a system. We appreciate the county as a small town, and I worked with small towns for years. Everybody appreciates somebody like Fremont County doing the septic systems and so forth like that, the permitting. It's just we need to figure out how we can cross the information gap and make sure people understand, you know, et cetera, So we're working on that aspect too. But that, I appreciate what you guys are doing. I appreciate the fact that you're doing the permitting. I already asked Wyatt what happens if we have one that's, you know, bubbling up on top of the ground. Looks like the crude, you know, on, you know, Beverly Hillbillies or something like that. Or, you know, is going into one of the local creeks, you know. Well, it's a dry creek, it's okay if sewage is in it. Well, obviously not. So, but we're working on it too. But thank you for what you're doing. We need to make sure that everybody has the same sheet of music. So any permits that you guys adopt before, you know, June 15th or whatever, we as a municipality would appreciate, you know, the information. And we'll gladly point them in your guys' direction. And thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. Steve, you kind of hit on some important aspects of what we've been fighting and what we've been dealing with the state legislature when it comes to density issues and and the takeover of our local control of such things, where they're trying to allow multiple things on smaller and smaller properties to increase density, but that doesn't work real well when we start talking about OWTS.
Not at all. Thanks, Steve, for your comment. That, as far as what Steve's concern is it is addressed in the Fremont County OWTS regulations. Today, it's been addressed for some time. Actually, it's an input from planning and zoning. It's their regulation that was put in there, and it addresses the 1 acre lots, 4 acres with a well, and 1 acre with public supplied water. There is also an exception in there that allows for a non-conforming parcel, which would be under an acre, that they can put in an OWTS provided there is room for an replacement or an auxiliary system. It doesn't eliminate the need for separations. It doesn't eliminate the need for setbacks from property lines or any of that. And it also doesn't eliminate the need for separations between OWTSs, okay, which is a septic system from this parcel to the next parcel. So if you have 4 parcels and you can't achieve that, if they are 2 bedrooms and they are this size, and if you can't achieve the separations, you cannot do the 4 parcels. You'd have to cut it down to probably 3 parcels or 2 parcels to allow for that separation, depending on the size of the dwelling that is going to be there. And it's all based off of bedrooms. Right. So that is addressed, and I do believe I wrote you a letter addressing that situation, Steve, for your counsel. So, but that is addressed, and that is the main purpose of this regulation, is what I stated earlier, for disease control, water quality, and health.
Okay. Thanks, Wyatt. All right,
Thanks,
is there anyone else to speak for or against this? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Go ahead.
Just to add on to that, Mr. Chair, having gone through several of the hearings, stuff where we talk about some of those special conditions or exceptions, to OWTS, where we allow it on those non-conforming lots and things like that. I can tell you that this commission, and sitting as Board of Health, are very conscientious about water quality and the placement of these units in those situations. We, of course, encourage folks to, we like the development, the new construction and stuff, but we are very aware of the issues surrounding water and water quality and the safety of the neighbors. And so I think this still falls right in line with that. We are occasionally going to see some of these regulation requirements coming down from the state, and as a subdivision of the state, we are more often than not required to comply with what they do, whether we like it or not. But sometimes they make sense too.
I don't believe you.
I know. It's hard to believe. It is hard to believe, but sometimes they do. They are consistent with the goals that we have when it comes to water quality and public safety. And so, and this is upon the recommendation of our building official and all the good work that he did. I'm ready for a motion.
Yeah, I think we have till June 15th to do this, but that's why I asked Wyatt to start with if he'd had many comments or anything back. And I think contractors have probably had an opportunity to bend your ear anytime they want to. And my suggestion was either leave it open and accept some comments or make it with a motion. It's either way. It's because I don't know that anybody's going to contact you anymore about it.
Yes, please.
We probably still have more time, but this stage right here, and October 30th, I sent it to the state, and it's a pre-adoption review that the state did. They sent it back to us and approved the pre-adoption on November 24th. At that time, we had to post it, so March 2nd, we posted it in the local paper and also on our website. So we had to post it for at least, I believe it was 20 days. And now we're at this point. After we approve this, or if you want to suspend it and go for more time for a review or response, we have to send it back to the state for the final adoption, and they have 45 days to get it back to us. So you have to keep that in mind. That's the time frame.
That 45, the June 15th is included in that?
Or it rolls
Oh,
back?
yeah.
Or it rolls?
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking May 1st?
Yeah. And we still have to get it together, and I still have to send it to them.
So if we were so inclined to leave it open, it'd just be till the next meeting?
To the
but,
next meeting.
yeah.
Correct. It would be another 2 weeks.
Just to accept comment, if any, or we can make a motion. It's 6 to 1, half a dozen or the other.
If we did it at the next meeting, it would still fit within the time frame for the 45 days. Is that
Okay,
correct?
that's fine.
Why don't we do that, if that's okay, Mr. Chair?
Yeah,
And,
that's what I think.
And then if give every opportunity for
Correct.
anybody to come in and talk to you about it, or,
And I'll let you know.
and just let us know.
Okay, thank you.
Did you have something, Mr. Bellis?
I did not.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think let's do that. Let's table a decision on this until the next meeting, which is the 28th. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah, the 28th. And then that'll allow anyone who's so inclined to send in some comments to Wyatt or to us, either way. And we'll include those, even though the public hearing has been open and closed. We'll take those into consideration as well. But so April 28th, we will hear this again under old business. Okay, thank you, Wyatt.
Be a motion to postpone it till next meeting?
Since this was
Yeah, I guess so.
an
Yep.
item, then, Mr. Chair, I move that we lay this over to April 28th.
All right, second that. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham?
Aye.
Commissioner McFall?
All right.
Motion carries.
All right, so April 28th, we'll hear this again under old business and finish it up. Moving on to item number 4, which is a secure transport service license and a permit for Service Secure LLC, and I'll turn to Attorney Bellis for an explanation again on this.
So again, whenever you see the phrase secure transportation service, what that is talking about is behavioral health transport. The difference between Class A and Class B is that Class A services are authorized to use quote-unquote light physical restraints such as soft restraints. Class B are not licensed to use any restraints at all. We are approving both licenses and vehicle permits this morning. The licenses are good for 3 years. The vehicle permits need to be renewed every year. With the vehicle permits, there are 2 types, Type 1 and Type 2. The difference between those two is that Type 1 vehicles have a partition between the driver and the passenger. Type 2 vehicles do not. They're just like your family car. There is no partition between the driver and the passenger. We have some of each of those today.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I'll give this a shot.
Can you read your notes?
All my scribbles here. On item number 4 in our business, I will make the motion, Mr. Chair, to approve the license and permit for the Secure Transportation Service for Secure Transit LLC, that being a Class B license from today, April 14, 2026, and ending on the 13th day of April 2029 for 3 years. And for the permit, right, Type 2 secure, let me get to the right screen here, Type 2 secure transportation vehicle permit for the same Secure Transit LLC for a 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan, the VIN number included in that description, from the 14th day of April, today, 2026, and ending on the 13th day of April next year, 2027. Does that about cover it, Mr. Attorney?
It does.
Thank you.
I think so. I second that motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, we're going to do this again.
We're going to do it again.
Yeah, Secure Transport Service License and Permit for MedRoute Connection LLC.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the Secure Transportation Service License and Permit for MedRoute Connect LLC. That is for a Class A Secure Transportation Service license. That being a 3-year license as well from today, April 14, 2026, ending on the 13th day of April 2029. And the vehicle permit, Type 1, Secure Transportation Vehicle Permit for a 2020 Chevy Silverado, VIN number in the file, from April 14, 2026, and ending on the 13th day of April 2027, 1 year.
I second that. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 6 is a renewal of a Secure Transport Service Permit for Good Kind Transportation Service LLC. This was one of those yearly ones.
One of those yearly ones. And again, this is a renewal. The other two were new license and permits. This is a renewal of a Secure Transportation Service Permit for Good Kind Transportation Services LLC, and I make the motion to approve that Type 1 Secure Transportation Vehicle Permit for a 2018 Ford Explorer, VIN number in the file, and that is from April 14, 2026 to April 13, 2027.
I will second that. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item number 7 is an appointment of a new member to the Fremont County Airport Advisory Board for a term beginning April 14th, 2026 and ending October 1st, 2027. This must be filling a position of someone that left the advisory board. We did receive a letter of interest. The way that works is we do have on our website, and there are others there if anybody's interested in serving on a committee, when we have on fremontcountyco.gov, and you can see the positions that are open and you may be interested in, to send us a letter of interest. And we go over those and take advice from our advisory committee and our airport manager on this one, and Commissioner Grantham, who also sits with that. So I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. This appointment letter of interest comes from Miles DeYoung in Florence. He sent us his qualifications and his history and his background with such things as far as the airport goes, and piloting and licensing, et cetera. As Commissioner McFall, Chairman McFall mentioned, we have a lot of these boards. We receive these letters of interest. The Airport Advisory Committee is one of those in particular that does require a certain level of knowledge and expertise to really be involved, because airport operations are not something that probably 99.9% of the general public is familiar with. There are certain committees that require certain levels of interest and expertise. This one is probably right up there at the top, and so we're always fortunate to get a good recommendation from our airport manager and our sitting members of the advisory committee for someone that is willing to serve on this board. It is their quarterly meetings, but they do deal with a lot of things as far as managing some of the improvements that are going on out there. The FAA federal grant money that comes in to improve taxiways, the construction of new hangars, and there's been a lot of that going on out there over the last few years. We've been very fortunate to see an increase in activity. Plus, they also manage the fly-ins and put together the fly-ins. If you haven't been to one, go to one. They are pretty cool, watching all the different kind of planes come in and and taxi in. They'll have pancake breakfasts usually associated with that. So in any case, just a chance this morning to give a plug for our airport, because it is a growing operation out there, and we're happy to see the activity that has been going on and increasing out there. It's good for Fremont County. With that, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the appointment of Miles DeYoung as a Fremont County Airport Advisory Board member for a term beginning April 14, 2026 and ending October 1, 2027.
Thank you. I will second that and mention that his letter is pretty impressive, so I
Yeah.
think he'll be a good addition to the board. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, no other business before us. We are adjourned.